Give me a bite. Give me a bite. Give me a bite of that. Give me a bite of that. Give me a piece of that. Give me a piece of that. I love a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday. Hooray!
Welcome, one and all. This is Bite-Sized Media Thursdays, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're bringing back. If I didn't mention, I don't remember.
You mentioned it last. Wait, no.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're bringing back a fan favorite. Side is the name of the series now. Where we're talking about two pilots.
It's Bite-Sized presents Bite-Side.
Listen, there's a lot of bites and a lot of sides and a lot of sizes, and there's a lot of words.
A few too many sides and not enough bites.
There you go. But we are talking about two pilots and how they are the same and different. They're usually about the same series, but just reincarnations or things like reincarnation's not the right word, but that's the word that I'm going to use today. And we're again kicking it with a 90s classic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Boy Meets World.
Yes.
And I am so excited. I've never seen the pilot.
Am I the only one that's seen this all the way through?
I've seen it. I watched it when I was like 12, and I don't remember anything about it.
I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like the earlier seasons as much as the later seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Going back as an adult and watching it again, I like the earlier seasons a lot more than I used to.
I was going to say, I'll be curious.
I think it's that nostalgia tickle.
Nostalgia. I'll be curious if it's one of those shows where, because like I haven't seen a lot of it. That was weird.
Salad fingers.
Oh,
spoons.
I like to touch rusty spoons. Anyway, I was wondering if it was one of those shows where it takes a second to get rolling, or if it's just boom, like right off the bat. Because I haven't seen.
It's funny right off the bat.
That's awesome.
Like it's more balanced than Full House with the funny and the wholesome, because the wholesome is kind of like. I remember learning that lesson when I was a kid, but it's not like a lesson that applies to the whole family. It's a lesson that applies to Corey or to Sean or
Mr. Feeney.
Not you.
I'm sure Feeney gets some lessons, no?
When
Mr. Matthews.
When William Daniels. When William Daniels was in this show, he was already 100.
That is true.
He knew all the wisdom that he needed.
That is true. That
man doesn't the show end with him saying, "I love you all"? And that always says it.
It's "I love you all," and then it's an empty classroom or something like that.
Aww.
Because they all moved on to the next stage of their life.
Is he the best part of the show? For how many good things there are?
No.
Or is he just kind of the cherry on top?
He's a very, very good part of the show. The funniest part of the show is Eric.
Who's Eric again? We covered this in February.
I know we did this before, but it's been
the voice of Ron in Kim Possible.
No way!
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Him and, what's her name? Christy Carlson Romano?
Something like that.
They have a podcast now. They go through all the, like, old Disney crap.
It's called Unstoppable.
Is it actually?
I have no idea.
I think it might be.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna Google that now.
That's so crazy.
I was just spitballing.
Well, apparently you're spitballing good enough.
What was the name of the guy at the computer that they'd always talk to?
Wade, thank you.
Yes. I saw that thing the other day. She tweeted about Wade.
I know.
In 20 years,
I saw that we're all going to be working from home.
Is right.
I saw it was like, oh my God, Wade was always right.
But
Wade
Boy Meets World.
Yes. No, I am truly excited to actually sit down and watch the first episode because, like I said, I've never seen this before. And also, don't forget, stay tuned next week where we're going to be talking about Girl Meets World. And we're going
I have
to
seen that first episode.
I haven't seen that one. I've seen some episodes of Boy, no episodes of Girl Meets World.
So I've also watched all of Girl Meets World. It has a lot of the same heart. But it's
not going to be the same. There's just no way.
It's not the same. It's different though because it's a girl, so it covers different things.
Obviously. I mean, I do get that.
And Corey is the teacher now.
Interesting.
But I liked it.
Really?
I did.
Remind me, how much later did that come out?
I think it came out.
2014.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
Boy Meets World, the pilot was in 1993.
I think it ended in 2004. Boy Meets World?
It lasted 11 seasons.
No, it was only 9. So it was
So about
2000.
2002.
interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they But really quick,
I actually
what was
think
the
it's
name?
called I Hear Voices, that podcast.
I hear voices.
Good to know.
I like mine better.
I do like that way
I
better.
do like yours better too.
All right.
But it's interesting because a lot of old shows are going back and doing podcasts where they watch through every episode.
Have you started, or I know you haven't watched it, but there's an Always Sunny podcast. It is so good.
Watching that show makes me feel like a horrible person, like a dirty piece of scum. I don't need to listen to them talk about how I don't need to listen to them talk because I feel like it would also make me feel like a
They're
pile
all
of scum.
such good friends, and they're all actually they're all actually good people, but legit, just watching them talk about recording everything is just, it's so much fun.
I have faith that Charlie Day is a good person, and the two that are married.
Glenn
I
Glenn
don't
is
know their
also.
names.
And,
I know their son's name is like Axel or something.
I don't know if it's Caitlin and Rob. Those are the two that are married, but I've seen so many of TikTok's interviews with them popping up. They're like fun. But anyway.
Boy Meets
Boy
World.
Meets World. Anything else before we jump into the episode?
My point was that Daniel Fishel is her name, maybe? Topanga is doing a watch through with.
Oh.
I think it's just her, actually.
Well, after you watch our podcast, then go check out hers.
Yeah, because we're the boost that all of these famous people need.
Obviously, they would be nothing without us.
They don't make it until
They literally would be nothing without us, but...
Anyway, so we're going to jump right into this. We're going to watch the show and then give you our immediate thoughts after. So after this, everybody, let's...
Take a bite.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just watched the very first episode of Boy Meets World. Holy crap, it's good!
That show makes me so happy.
I don't know what, and I know I don't remember me saying this, but I know for a fact after we watched Boy Meets World back in February, I probably said the same exact thing. Dang, I need to watch this show now. I'll say it again. Dang.
But the one we watched back in February was so different because it was when they were older. It was like when they were in high school.
That's the thing is, as soon as this turned on, I don't know if you guys heard me like, dang, he's young. I'm like, wow, yesterday, I was like, yeah. I wonder if he was actually 11.
I don't know, but so far as I can tell, they go from, I think, probably 6th grade to 12th grade and only have to skip like 1 year in the center somewhere.
So they probably...
I think they skip from 6th grade, and I think the second season is when they're in 8th grade.
Gotcha.
If I'm remembering correctly. There's a grade skip somewhere.
But other than that, they pretty much stick with how old they are to what grade. That's smart.
I think that grade skip adjusts to how old they actually were.
I could see that.
I'd have to look that up and do a little bit of research, but
that makes sense. No,
it's a wonderful show.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
It's so heartwarming and down to earth and silly. It's like the perfect mash.
It does a much better job of delivering its message.
Yes.
Than Full House. And I
100%.
think it's because most of the lessons are done through learning something at school, as opposed to our family teaches us this. Most of the time, it's he realizes through something with his friends, and then he goes back and talks to his parents about it, or vice versa.
Especially like the whole Shakespeare thing that they just did. Like how Shakespeare's all about love, and then they sprinkle in with his brother going on the date, and then Feeney missing out on what you thought was a date. And then at the end, it was with his sister, like how...
He wasn't dating his sister. He's going to have dinner with his sister.
Yes, that's what I meant.
But that's what I meant. That it was a romantic date.
Which, by the way, we all have sisters here.
Yeah.
Which one of us would light 2 candles for our sister?
Yeah, that's true. Not a chance.
I know.
You'd be like, what are you doing?
My sister would be like, if I threw a Big Mac on a plate for her.
My sister would be like, you're eating salad? And I'd be like, yeah. Nothing else? No?
You don't like salad unless
I like salad, fine.
Not much.
Yeah, I had some today.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that about you.
I like salad. I don't like that much in it. I just like a lot of croutons and a lot of Italian dressing.
Don't forget. I mean,
So
you
you like
can-
bread with sauce on it.
Yes,
I mean-
maybe a little bit of lettuce.
who
in there.
doesn't like saucy bread? To be fair.
I like
Bread's like my
spicy
favorite
bread.
food. I could eat it every day.
Oh,
No, that's garlic bread.
that's
You get
considered.
really fat.
Bread makes you fat.
Yes.
We're quoting a movie. What movie is that, Dickie?
I know what movie that is.
I think we've done this bit.
Yes, you do.
I legit know what
and it
movie
took
this
him
is,
10
but I
minutes.
can't remember the title is escaping
One
me.
of our favorite
Yeah,
directors.
well, we'll just let him live in suspense.
Yeah.
Really, you're never gonna. I'm
Because
gonna
we
answer.
should
it.
actually instead talk
We-
about
We
Boy
should.
Meets World.
Can you please just, for the love of all things, totally what that movie was? Now it's gonna bother me.
So
Yep.
Boy Meets World.
no, you're.
So I think in this specific scenario, you were correct. Feeney is the best part of that episode. He certainly is funnier. And I thank you for getting me to watch 1776 because it makes that better for me.
He's a stage performer. William
Yeah.
Daniels is you can clearly see he's meant for the stage. And what is TV but just it's a stage, but there's a camera in your face.
Well, yeah. I mean, you say that, and I imagine. I'm sure this is part of the directors as well. But like, just like the way he like walks across the classroom, like as he's
He
like,
carries
I
himself
can-
well. He probably hits his marks pretty gracefully.
Mhm.
And just
I could absolutely
everything
see
he
how.
says. His delivery is so good. He'll take anything and make me laugh.
I do.
Nothing. He'll say nothing important and nothing that funny, but I'm laughing at how well he's delivering it.
Do you want to say what
Mr.
the?
Matthews? That's the way it should be.
You want to say what? I know I was mentioning it before. What I thought the best joke of the whole episode was, where he was drinking his. Corey's like, "Oh, you're he's drinking that
High protein space
high
water.
protein space water." And he's like, just like they do in space. He's like, "Ah, Mr. Matthews, astronauts don't suck down; they suck
There's no
up."
gravity in
Oh,
space.
there you go. There's no gravity in space, so they don't suck out; they suck up. Something you should learn to do. And I was like, "Oh,
Learn
that's
from
so good."
Learn from them, Mr. Mouse.
Learn from them. That's so good. That's just
He's- I mean, obviously, he is what Wilson was to Home Improvement.
yeah, but more
Better
though.
because he's in the show more, I think.
And you see his full face.
I don't know. Wilson's pretty funny without seeing his
I know.
face.
It's a funny gag that never gets old. It's just
I do like that, and I'm legit trying to think of now like any other show or movie or anything like that that has like a teacher or a character of like that kind of nature be someone's neighbor. Like I like that, and I think that like allows a lot more interesting just relationships and just.
Are you talking more like a wise foil or something like that?
he just means literally a teacher that's also their neighbor.
Literally a
Like,
teacher that's also their neighbor.
a teacher or somebody that's just like a wise foil, like somebody who like knows more, but is
That's
also
like every
their.
TV show.
I mean,
But is also their neighbor. I think I like
See,
that
the
specifically.
dad in Family Matters is a police officer, and then maybe at some point the police chief.
Again, I've
That's
never.
kind of like that.
But that's not the wise neighbor because he is the main character. Steve is their neighbor.
Mhm.
But then Steve takes over the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know.
Yeah.
I forgot Steve was their neighbor.
Nope, he is. He's just always over.
Did I do that?
But like, what would that show like? He wasn't in like the first season of that show?
He
was
is. He's a side character, and it's about the problems and lives of the Winslows. And then by probably season 2, they realize people really like the dorky neighbor. Let's make him be a main character. Oh, no, let's make him be the main character. Let's have him build a robot.
Let's have
called
him
the
be
Urkelbot.
the character.
Let's have him build a machine that makes him cool. Stefan Urkel. It's just, what did that show become?
I'm sorry, it's
I-
still such a great show, and
It's-
that's
it's-
another one.
it's
That's another
fun.
one that does its lessons really well
Yeah, I did.
because of obviously the subject matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it
that's
has
what I like.
Waldo, one of the greatest TV characters ever. Waldo Faldo.
I do like that they actually mentioned Full House in
They
this.
did. It's like, I don't understand. I'm 11. I don't understand the emotional importance of Full House. And we went,
Hey,
hey!
we just talked about that. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it.
Which by then, Full House would have been 5 or 6 seasons in and was one
Really?
of the biggest things.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, because that would have been started in the late 80s. So, yeah, that would have.
So that means Full House does not exist in the universe as like a family that could cross over with this, because I believe they were on the same network.
Were they both ABC?
Yeah, I think they were both ABC.
Were they both part of TGIF?
I think
Or
at
did
one-
TGIF
I think think at one point, I think Full House existed before TJIF, and it just kind of got
Because
rolled.
Full House and Family Matters are usually back to back in the block, right? Because there's 4 in a block.
Usually it's
Is
full.
that how
Yeah.
TGIF works? And I thought was Full House
Yes, it's
last. I
No,
don't remember.
I think it
remember how it
was
works.
first.
It was Full House, then Family Matters.
I don't know. You'd have to
But-
look it up.
What if Boy Meets World would have been in maybe a little bit later in life, like in the mid '90s when they were both still going?
I know that Sabrina and Boy Meets World used to air back to back, but that was after Full House stopped.
Interesting.
Cosby might have been one of those shows that
But
slotted
Cosby
in.
Oh, I
started
bet.
in the 80s too, I think.
I bet Cosby would have been in there.
Ended
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Started in the 80s. Like, that's probably around the same time as Full House.
What else
Richmond.
would it have been? And I don't think Cosby was on ABC. I think
Oh,
thinking
that's
now, I
true.
think it was on CBS.
Hanging with Mr.
Was it really?
Cooper.
I don't know.
I just like bringing that one up. I don't know why it just cracks, but just
I'm trying
the
to
name.
think of what the other one was, because you're right. Family Matters. It was Family Matters, Full House, Boy Meets World, and then
Perfect
Sabrina-
World? No, that's Cosby Show. Not Perfect World. Different
A
World.
Different World, which is
Perfect
before-
World is a movie.
That's
Different
another.
World.
That's another one we could potentially do for a side by side is Cosby Show and A Different World, because I really love A Different World. It is so much fun.
Cosby
Yeah,
Show's a much
everybody
different watch
loves-
now.
Everybody loves Bill Cosby now. Anyway.
Just you can never watch Ghost Dad again. Ever again. I've
Well,
not seen it, but I'm never going
for
to.
for Boy Meets World, you guys got any more thoughts on this episode or the series in
curious
general?
to revisit Girl Meets World's first episode because I've seen that more recently than this.
I've never seen that one, so
I
I'll
think
be
Girl
very
Meets World is
curious.
going to be a bit more. I remember it being a bit more cringy at first and
Oof,
having to
that
like
Doesn't
have it. Well, because
you just can't recapture? It's
It's-
so hard to
so-
recapture that magic.
well, it's not that. For me, it was I watched it as a 30-year-old, and you're watching this like little like 12-year-old girl, and it's like, eh.
To be fair, I mean, I'm still watching this as a 27-year-old, and he's 11, and I'm getting enjoyment out of it.
Oh yeah, because your mind is like 15.
Yes, that's true.
Also, sitcoms are just very different than what they were.
That is true. That is very true.
I mean, case in point, iCarly is very different than something like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
or anything else good.
Listen, actual iCarly, entertaining. This new
Wait, hold
new
on.
rendition.
I forgot entirely about the new rendition. What about Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odd Adventure?
Stop! Before I get any too far, How I Met Your Mother. No!
Ah!
Jerry, where can they find us online before we go down this rabbit hole? Oh no!
Boy. See, Mr. Feeney's funny, and so is our TikTok. There, I'll rip the Band-Aid off.
See, you went the opposite way of what you did last week.
It's
Yep.
right for
So our TikTok's funny. Follow it, please. I guess.
at off Slate Media.
And also, you can follow us on
Tag.
Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram. Then you can listen to us here on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and ring our bell. And also listen to us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, the Evil Overlord,
Do a
Apple
podcast?
Podcast, Stitcher, and Spotify.
And then
There you
also
go.
TikTok. Did
Yes.
you hear that's pretty
Yeah,
funny?
it's funny.
Yeah, off Slate Media. Leave us reviews if you like
On our
us.
TikTok? I mean, you can comment on our
Everywhere.
TikTok
Leave us
if you
reviews
want.
on any of the podcast websites, on YouTube. Comment. I would love to
Yeah,
know.
comment more ideas for Side by Side, our favorites.
I just want to know if they like us or not. Even if you hate us.
We don't need to know
Tell-
if you like us. We just want more ideas.
Anyway, thank you for listening to today's episode of Side Bite Side, a bite-sized production. Oh, see, I know that at that time.
You remembered.
Tune in next week as we compare and contrast Girl Meets World with Boy Meets World. So, from all of us here at Off Slate Media, thank you for listening, and until next time, goodbye.
Take a bite.
Bite me off a piece of that.